say, we go a little deeper and another teaching about the Godfather, that's even higher than a father who is a king. You understand? A father himself is a king because your house or your dwelling place is where you set your rules. And I'm about to get into some stuff that's going to open your blinded eyes. If you've never known this, it's going to really bring sight to you. It's really going to bring sight to you about the structure of a royal family, from somebody that has been talking about this for the longest. But we're going to look at some key scriptures to back us up, so people will be like, well, where you get that from? It just came out of the blue. No, it didn't. I had the prophets done prophesied. Tell me everybody done prophesied. I've been doing it for a minute. I just was following it by another title, but I said I don't want all those titles. I just put it all in one, and it say, by me, kings reign and princes decree justice. Now that's in Proverbs 8:15. This is what God said. This is what God says. And this is what messengers in the house of God declare. By me, God say, kings reign and princes decree justice. If you remember, on last week, particularly, I talked about how God say, how long will you not judge the wicked? In other words, how long will you let the wicked be unjust? So princes are supposed to decree things, if you remember that. Now, we going into a teaching on some royal ground. Now we going into some real in-depth teaching. You can understand some things. Then I want to look at Revelation 5:10. And has made us into our God. Watch this. And has made us into our God kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. God has made us kings and priests for those who acknowledge him, and we shall reign on the earth. That's found in the book of Revelation, chapter number 5, verse 10. Okay. Now we going into these basic little definitions that I had out for the king. The king is, first of all, the ruler. He's a father. He is an overseer over his household or a kingdom. Now that's my definition of it by experience. A king is a ruler, a father, an overseer over his household or kingdom. Some people might not say household. You got to understand. They might not be like, this is my household. They might be like, this is my kingdom. You understand? So depending on which way they say it, it depends on what that king say. That person or whatever their kingdom is. It can be that God has given you dominion, where you set the standard, because can't just anybody just come do anything, what you have, your dominion. I mean, that's where you set your rules. Ain't nobody just gonna come in and just turn on your TV. You understand? There's just certain things you gotta, ask for permission to do. You just don't come in talking about what you gonna do. You understand? If somebody set some fertile guidelines, then you just don't do that. You understand? Especially from a person that has some structure and some guidelines to abide by. You just won't go do that. I remember when I was going through my second marriage. I had my little brother-in-law. He wanted to just come in. I was making beats and everything. And I'm sitting there, and I think my daughter was born or about to be born. And he thought he was just going to go in my refrigerator. And I was looking like, man, you ain't about to go in this refrigerator. There's guidelines. Just because you my brother-in-law don't mean you going into my refrigerator. You ain't was about to go in there. You going to ask, hey, man, can I go in here in this refrigerator? You ain't just about to go in this refrigerator because you don't know what is what. You just ain't going to go eat what you want to eat. There's a certain way that you got to do stuff. You just can't go in and that's like somebody just coming in, want to wear your stuff. You're like, wait a minute. Now, you didn't know I was going to wear this today. So why do you want to come in and wear my stuff? You got to ask. So a king is a ruler in his own house or kingdom. Some people be like, this is my kingdom right here, and you can't tell them what it ain't. You understand? Because they building something, whatever God gave them. And it's for them, for their own business. You can't tell them. They might not want to be what you make your place. You understand? You might want to make your place a Playboy mansion. That's where you at. That's where your culture or thinking may be. But somebody else might be like, you know what? I'm tired of living like this. I'm about to change some things and get things the way that God sees things. Then you got the queen, who is a ruler, a mother, an overseer over her children, and a helper to the king. That's who a queen is, with my definition. A queen is a ruler. You know why? Because she is helping her mate rule a kingdom. So if he doing something else, she has dominion over her children. So if she say do something, she got equal opportunity to give orders. She's giving orders. Go clean that room. Go do this, that. She declared something. She decreed something. Oh, it's about to get real good right now. A king and a queen can declare and decree. If I tell you and you, my son and my daughter, to go watch this, I'm declaring, go do this. You understand? That's what we getting at right here. You understand? A prince is a ruler, a son of a king, or a queen who has authority in the kingdom. A princess is a ruler, a daughter of a king or queen who has authority in the kingdom. Now, since all of that has been covered, now we just gave some brief definitions, basically, from other little resources and from experience. See, people can give you anything, but some of these things can be like make believe sometimes. Be like, no, that's somebody else's opinion, and that opinion are establishing with the Jones family. Specifically, there ain't too many people on the outside that can tell me, how I'm going to do what I'm going to do. That's just the truth of the fact of the matter. You ain't going to tell me that the Jones family ain't going to do this. You ain't got no position. You ain't got no say so. You ain't about nothing. That's the truth of the fact of the matter. You ain't going to tell me what I'm going to do in my household. You ain't going to tell me what time I'm going to wake up, what time I'm going to sleep. You ain't going to tell me what I'm going to read today. You ain't going to tell me nothing. You ain't got no jurisdiction whatsoever in what I do. And that is authority. You understand? That's an authority that is That's a discipline that a individual, a male figure, has to have in their kingdom. Whether you know it or not, a king also possesses silver, gold, and bronze. Not everybody got that. Some of y'all even got even more than others. Some people got money, they got cars, they little chariots. A lot of y'all are kings and queens, but you don't walk in it because they don't define themselves as that. And the enemy stripped you of their right. You understand? Yeah, it's many people that could be that, but they not living to the extreme. They lack a sort of information. They lack the information that, look, I'm a king of my household. I'm king of my kingdom. I'm a king of my business. You can't tell. See, a king is an executive, a chief executive. So even if that king start a business, he the CEO. You understand? It's not just far as a family considered. He the CEO. So the CEO is a chief executive officer. So if I'm the chief executive officer of anything, that's the main person. That's, in my terminology, that's called a king in the royal family. You understand? Of the Jones family. That's determined as a person who is a king. You understand? And it's under the jurisdiction of God, because God was, by him kings reign, and by him princes decree justice. The sons of kings decree justice. Truthfully, my son can declare stuff that people can't even decree because he an offspring of me. He can declare automatically, what is right and what is wrong, because he my offspring, because I have all that on the inside of me. So he automatically, no matter how far or near he is from me, he can still tell you what is right and what is wrong, because it's an inspiration from me to him, because it's my offspring. It's automatically in him. Even if the enemy try to stop you from getting to your offspring, you still have authority to speak, because when you speak it, it's universal. They can feel it. You understand? Because remember, they are part of you. So it's always, you can train a child, but they also gonna grow into something that they need explaining of. They're gonna say, why am I walking in royalty? Because you spoke it. I spoke it into existence. I call my kids the Deuteronomy 28 kids. So that means I already put them in the sphere of influence of blessings. I already called them prince and princess. And I really mean that. I really actually mean that. People going to actually identify them as that. They're not going to be Thug and Missy Pooh and all that. You understand? There's a certain guideline that they are going to uphold, regardless to what the enemy see fit. You understand? They're going to be powerful people, and the enemy want to stop that process for you. He'll strip you of who you really are. He'll say, well, you ain't this, that, and the other. You just a mere man. And when you start acting like that, then you miss what your true inheritance is. Like, for example, I'll give you a testimony. My daughter went into a store, and she was with me. We went into a store, and the lady behind the counter was like, hey, I'm your auntie. And my daughter started speaking. Next thing you know, all kind of people came in and started standing in there. She went off on that lady. It's like, nah, you ain't my auntie. You ain't this, that, and the other. Told her off, like right there, and was like, you not my auntie.